Will doing what you don't want to do make you better? Stick around to hear the answer. Alright guys, you know the drill. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, and make sure to hit the bell so you get notifications when the next videos come out so you stay up on what is going on with my channel. So like I said in the intro, today we're going to be talking about doing what you don't want to do. Is this something that's going to make you better? Why is this such an important topic to be thinking about? It's huge. It's huge. So many people get stuck in just doing in a business, in a relationship, in anything else, the parts they really, really like to do. When I was racing motocross growing up, it was always really fun to hit jumps. But the parts you struggled at, it was much harder to want to just do that stuff all the time. So, you focus on the fun stuff where you were good at or where you shined, and it was a real push to do the things that you didn't like to do as much because you weren't as good at them. It wasn't as fun because it wasn't as easy. It didn't come as natural to you. In this, I'm going to relate this mainly to business. There's so many things that people, they don't want to do, but they could be where the real hidden success is. And those are things that are simple. It's simple as, waking up early to get a jump on the game before everyone is going so you can really get out there and really start pushing, start creating before the world erupts. There's a time where nothing's going on and you can make so much ground so quickly, and then after 7, 8 o'clock, everything's going a million miles an hour. You know it. Your phone's ringing off the hook. Everything's going like crazy. You can't get a fraction of what you could have got done earlier in the morning. And that's just one thing. There's, when you're starting a business or when you're any part of your life, working long, crazy hours to ensure you're gonna build yourself as an asset, build your company. Not saying that I'm not promoting that you become a workaholic, but there are times in your seasons of life where you need to work like crazy. It's what it requires, and if you want to get to a certain spot, that's what you need to do. Another big one for being a business owner is making those hard phone calls. It's a challenge sometimes when there's a bad situation. Making a hard phone call can be one of those things that you just hate doing. There's so much benefit in these things that if you just push past what you don't want to do. Staying focused is another thing that can be super, super challenging. There's a million things. Like I said, after that 8 o'clock time, things get crazy. Staying focused can be hard. The list just goes on and on of things that are just challenging. There comes parts in your life, whatever season or stage in your life, that there becomes things that you feel like you shouldn't have to do anymore because maybe you feel like you've earned your way past it, or you feel like you should be able to live this certain lifestyle because you feel like you should be somewhere. And that may or may not be true, and that may be hard to realize that, just because you feel that way, maybe you're not there yet. But the deal is not, if you can push past that, you could be like this close. And the majority of people, the crazy thing that keeps people from being successful is usually they're this close from making it happen. It's people that are crazy lunatics that never stop, that get everything, that become successful because they just don't stop. And that hard point in their life doesn't scare them, or if it does scare them, they just don't care, and it doesn't stop them. Because there's something as a business owner, as someone that's taken on a lot of challenge in his life, that I've realized the most amazing times are right after you are about to just snap and think you can't do it anymore. It's like this far after some of the biggest challenges of your life are some of the most awesome parts. And it's truly miraculous and amazing how whoever created whatever you believe in, this world, anything it is, because you get challenged so much and it beats you down so much, and then as soon as it breaks, you're up, and you appreciate this because you remember that. That's so powerful. Appreciating this because you remember that. And then you go through the next cycle. And no matter where you're at, it feels the same, you know. So you're starting a business or your family or whatever, and it's going, and oh man, it gets horrible. But then it finally breaks and it gets bigger and better. And now you're here. You're not here anymore. But now when it planes off, it gets down to here. This still feels bad as that. And that happens forever. You know, it'd be sweet if growth and getting better with everything in your life just went like this, like an airplane taking off. But really, you know, an airplane could not fly like our life progresses, or it would just, you know, just can't happen. So, went off on a tangent there. But the big part of this is listing these things that you don't want to do. The things you don't want to do can really bring you the most success. You know, like I said, those challenging phone calls, they create opportunity. When someone's upset, when a customer's upset, when someone's upset, it's early in the morning, I gotta drink my coffee. But when someone's upset, you calling them, you going out to solve a problem for them. Solving a problem for them might also unveil like 10 other things that need done for them. And this is the same in relationships or anything in life. I'm just relating this to business. Those long, crazy hours. You know, Elon Musk says something along the lines. Now, like I said, I'm not promoting being a workaholic, but there are times in your life, especially if you're single. Man, if I was a single man, I would tear through some stuff. You know, if I didn't have kids and I was a single man, I would like just explode my life, and then I would settle out, and you know, it's just, you always think about what you would do if your life was a little bit different. Wouldn't change my life for the world, but if you're single, you know, that's when you can work like a crazy lunatic to really try to make some progress before, you know, you might start tapering that off, or whatever the case may be. Or maybe you just want to be a lunatic all your life. But Elon Musk says something to the extent of, you know, if I work 80 hours a week and everybody else I'm competing against is working 40 hours a week, I get a year on them every year we work. You know, I'm doing double the stuff in the time that you know, in the same amount of time, which there's a lot to be said against that, because not everybody can be productive at that level. Not everyone can work those hours and not just have massive declines in their productivity. It takes a special type of crazy person to be like that 24/7. But for pushes, for stints, for big growth cycles and seasons in your life, there's times where it may be best, you know, and this isn't just in business. I remember when I worked for companies growing up, before I even owned a business, I'd work crazy hours sometimes. And just because I knew that, you know, if it was a business that I was invested in, me becoming a bigger asset made things better for me. And I always wanted to be, you know, and that was like, you should have your own selfish agenda as well. It's not wrong for you to want to produce for yourself, because if you don't produce for yourself, you can't help anyone around you. It's not selfish. So, you know, I wanted to make sure that I was becoming bigger and better and growing. And, you know, I did this in all the different things. That's how I worked a business. That's how I worked a job. And, you know, the big thing to look for in the job is like, is the job going to have the opportunity that warrants me wanting to continue doing this? And, you know, that's something big to look at. And if it does, you know, you can go for it. You can grab that stuff. And an eighth of the time, maybe some of these people you're working next to, it took for them to get where they're at. You know, I'm not going to talk about all the things I said about not wanting to do, but I'm going to talk about this is the last point is, you know, never thinking things are below you. Never thinking, you know, like me, I'll jump back out in the field. I work like a long day that, you know, most people would think is miserable. The crazy thing in life is that, you know, what a lot of people think is miserable that are out in the field, that are working as an employee, and they look as a guy that spends a lot of time in the office and dealing with customers, you know, and maybe everybody's envious of each other. Envy and looking at something else and being envious of someone is the death of true joy, because you look at someone else and you want what they have, but you don't realize what it is. And that's like what Facebook and everything brings around. You see all these smiling, happy people, and everyone's so envious of everyone else's life, and it just drains all the joy from your own life. Because unless you're in someone else's shoes, you can't truly see what it is. You know, I find myself being envious of someone that just has next to nothing. because they have no stress in their life, you know. But someone might look at me and be envious of what I have without knowing what comes with that. And that's the thing that why I think that's so important, is to not think things are below you, to show people that you're willing to do anything to keep you humble, and to really try to broaden your mind and look around and see what's there, because it is so easy to get off on that track of being envious of something bigger and better than you, or something you think is bigger and better than you, and thinking, man, all this other stuff is below me, I don't want that anymore. And I've seen a lot of people in my lifetime that has completely stunted or halted their growth, because they came to a poor conclusion based on that envy, or that lack of thinking they should have to do certain things anymore. And you know, it really just, it can stunt people. It can stunt people. I had an amazing boss that you hear me talk about all the time. The owner of the collision center I worked at, he will still come outside and pressure wash incoming cars and do basically whatever it takes. A big part of achieving stuff in life that I've realized so much is you just have to be willing to do whatever it takes. If you'll do whatever it takes, you beat out like 99.9% of everyone, because most people don't like it if it's painful, requires less sleep, is harder, is a challenge, is scary, and there's not a big crowd going out there to do whatever it takes. So the big takeaway from this video about, you know, doing the hard things, why you should do the hard things. I'm not telling you why you should necessarily do the hard things. I'm not pushing you to do the hard things, but I'm giving you examples of why doing the hard things could change your life, could change your family, could change your business, could change everything. You know, most entrepreneurs, their business is pretty much a reflection of their life, and their life is a reflection of their business. So the better you can make everything, the better everything becomes, you know. And that says a lot for a lot of people, because a lot of people's, I'm heavily affected by my family. You know, my wife, my kids, everything being good can have a lot to do with my mood. You know, so working and focusing on everything being better can affect that so much. And the takeaway from this is these things you don't want to do, these things that are challenging, the things you think you shouldn't have to do, the scary stuff, the stuff that you just, man, you grit your teeth because you don't want to do, it is where 99% of people won't go. You hear me? 99% of people won't do the challenging, the hard, the ugly, the nasty, the stuff that they just feel like is beyond them. And it makes it easy to succeed. You know, like succeeding in stuff, it's not like it's a hard formula, but it's extremely challenging to do some of the things that you don't think you should have to do or want to do, or continuously be stepping up to the plate all the time to do. But that is so good, because 99% of the people won't do these things, won't take the challenge, won't do the certain stuff, and it makes it, the crowd is very few of the people that will do that. And wherever you're at in your life, whatever you're doing, whether it be you're working for someone, you're running your business, you're living your family life this way, it makes it so easy to stand out and be different, and people look at you and just be like, man, that person is like incredible. How do they do so much? How do they succeed so much? Well, they sleep less hours. They work more of the day. They stay on point. They have goals. They shoot for things. And that's how they do it. And the takeaway is, like I said, 99% of people won't do this. So if you step into the 1% that will do this, it'll change your life. It'll change your family. It'll change your business. It'll make things blow up. Or you can stay with the 99% of people that want to sleep in, want to not work those long hours when they have to, want to think things are below them, want to, you know, just don't quite want to push anymore, don't want to do these certain things. And you can stay with those 99% of people, and you can complain about the 1%. So, guys, hope you liked this video. Hope you thought it was interesting. It was an interesting idea I got, because, you know, there's times in my life where I see these challenges, I know these things, and I've got to a point where I can actually see it's like, oh, I don't want to do it. I know I should, you know, I don't want to do that. Man, I know that's the thing. Usually the thing you don't want to do is what you should grab at and be like, damn, there's the nugget. Let's go get it. It's going to make things better. Guys, Hope you liked this. Hope you thought this video was awesome. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Either way, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You can follow me on Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, and TikTok. I'll be bringing more stuff to you soon. I can't wait to see you there.